Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and for this video I'm going to be doing the Flash My Stash challenge. It was started by Terry from YarnJoy Podcast and Petra, the Sosa Family. I'm going to answer these questions right here in the video right away, and then I'll show you this area and my stash better. What do I like to store my yarn in? I like to store them in shelving units. Second question is, do you sort by brand, color, weight, or content? I sort between a combination of brand and then some content and weight, all three of them. If that makes any sense when you see it, when I talk about it, you'll understand it better. Do you like to keep basic colors or brands of yarn on hand? Do you only buy a particular project? No. I just buy whatever yarn whenever I want. If I have a project in mind and I don't have it here, I'll go buy yarn. Or I'll buy it if it's cute and or beautiful colors and on sale. I don't have anything in particular on hand, except for I have been looking for some skin tone colors. And I would like to keep, once I find a perfect one, I want to stock up on that. Where do you store your scraps? I'll show you my scrap section. At this point I don't have quite a lot right now because I just made 2 scrap gants. And then do I inventory my yarn? No. Alright, so my daughter's going to pause their video and then I'm going to take over and show you my crafty area. Okay?
Oh, good.
Okay, so this part of my craft area is where I set my project bags. These are the baskets I've been working on. This is the project I've been doing, my bonbons. This is my knit crate that I plan on ripping out. This is the river washed bonbons, because I'm using the stone wash for that. This, I actually took the shawl out of there, but I left the leftover yarn in there because I need to reball it and the pattern, and I need to put that away. There's my sewing machine. There's my super wonderful box my husband gave me. This is my bead collection that I use for making stitch markers, purse charms, earrings, anything you name it. Apparently I have some darn good yarn up here. I'm not sure why it's there. Okay, so this starts my yarn hoard. Right here is, I made a video about that quite a long time, one of my first ones, and I thought it looked cute to store my scraps on there. However, when I first made it, I was in the beginning of my yarn hoarding, and I quickly filled that up. And so now, I'll move you down here quietly. Down here, whoa, almost fell. In that llama bag from Catchy Name, that's where I'm popping scraps, and I'm making an afghan as I go. If you recall, a bit ago I made a blanket. It's my 6-pointed Jewish star. Okay, so let's get into the yarn. Back here in that corner, if you can see, if it's not too dark, that I got from Tara Lynn, and some of that's from Debbie. That's mostly Premier yarn, minus this. That's the loops and threads from Debbie. So that's Premier yarns over there. This cubby is Red Heart. Red Heart Super Saver, Red Heart Love, Red Heart Ombre, all Red Heart in there. These are even Red Hearts that I've used bits of and then caked. So if I've used a skein, and as you can see, those are pretty sizable cakes, I do store them like in front of my yarn like that. I would not consider that a scrap. This is my favorite for when I make brown babies. I love that. That's Red Heart Super Saver, I think Cafe Latte. But yeah, so I store my big cakes there. Okay, the next one down, this is kind of a mixture of yarn. There is, in the yarn bowl is my Caron Cake Chunky. There's my paint box. There's a little bit of yarn back there from Gypsy Rose, because that yarn is super big and I have nowhere else to put it. I think these are, some of these in the front here are baby weight yarns, these two. And this is a Super Saver. That was on the wrong shelf. There we go. These are my Hobby Lobby yarns. I'll move this little cutie. This I got from Mama Kayla. It had chocolates in it, but now I just keep it because it's a cute llama. And there's my Canadian Crocheter cup. Let's see here. Yeah, this is all Hobby Lobby. It's their version of Caron Simply Soft. I love this yarn. Crafter's Secret. This, yeah, all of these yarns, even these, Hobby Lobby. That's right there. Okay, so this down here, this is actually a Premier yarn. See that? I don't know why it's over there. Belongs in the Premier section. This is the yarn that my mom gave me. I actually have another tote of it because it didn't all fit in there nicely underneath here. This is all stuff that she got from her yarn shop that she used to work at. Most of it is this brand, Penguin Yarns, and they're all acrylic wool blends. Okay, so that is in that section. Here are my expensive fancy yarns. This yarn is merino wool from Alaska. That's from, I want to say that's from the yarn shop in Fond du Lac that closed. Here's some Malabrigo. This was from Iris's Fine Yarns in Appleton. That's now closed. This I got from the new yarn shop in Nina. I think it's called like Sunday. And those are my knit crates back there. So that's my fancy yarn. And then here, as you can tell, are my cakes. I got whole kinds of different cakes in there. I've got a Caron, I'm trying to remember what that's called. Not a cotton cake, a baby cake. I got that's a Hobby Lobby one, but it's in there. And that's like a fuzzy one. There's some mandala cakes, some cupcakes. And then I got, that's a parfait something. Up here in this one, this is the only tote that has yarns in it. And if you see right up there, this is the last of the yarn that I got from, I'll pull it down. This is the last of the yarn that I got from a friend. She had a friend that was getting rid of some of their stash, and I bagged a bunch of it up. I caked this up. I don't even know what that is. It's an acrylic, I'm sure. And I put it in here. And that, she'd actually given me 3 trash bags full of it. And I donated almost all of it to Christ Child Society in either prayer shawls, baby blankets, baby hats, baby booties. Okay, so on this side, the last thing I'm going to show you, whoops, down there, and I've showed you guys this before, I have a tote down there of yarns. I'm going to pause it and pull it out for you. Okay, so in here is all the yarn I would need to make this blanket. It makes a bunch of flowers like this. This I ordered from England, I believe. Oh, a couple years ago now. Stylecraft, double knit. And I feel intimidated about making this. I'm going to show you this, how beautiful that is. And I've been kind of putting it off. I really need to make it because that is all the yarn for that. And I just keep sitting it down in that bin. It's not up with the other stuff. And the reason it's not with the other stuff is because I don't want to ever get tempted to use it for anything else. So this is how I store most of my yarn, and this is what I had for the first 2 years. I used those shelves on the side. I bought that shelf actually I got that shelf for my birthday from my dad and Tammy from Walmart. And then it came with the totes. And I put it on its side, and I put that stuff up there. These totes have an assortment of hobbies in there. I think there's a bedazzler in there, bags, Mod Podge, craft bags. I mean, all kinds of crafting supplies up in there. So then, a bit ago, Michelle, as I've said before, sent me a bunch of yarn. And so I had to start storing in here. And I quickly started to fill it up. And then I want to say Tara Lynn donated some yarn for me. Okay, so the top is all cotton. Right over here There's some Premier cottons. That's a Hobby Lobby cotton wheel. Sugar wheel. I don't remember what they call them. That blue one is that Bernat leftover that I used in that basket. That green stuff came from Hirschner's. That cotton right there, the pink and teal and white, that's from my mom. This is from my Australian friend, Gypsy Rose. That's some Walmart cotton. And then there's some scrubby yarns. And look at there, there's another darn good yarn. That stuff's just spread out everywhere. And in this container are my cotton scraps. I eventually want to be making a few little dish scrubbies. And that's why I'm keeping that stuff together. Here's my Caron Simply Soft Sparkle, and I got all this from Michelle Townsend. I love me some Caron Simply Soft. I know some folks don't love it, but I do. So that is all of this. Here are some cakes. This is a Bernat Pop I got on clearance at Walmart because it was falling apart for $1, so I caked it up here. That is a sugar wheel or a pinwheel from Hobby Lobby that again was falling apart, so I caked it up myself here. That is my Caron Chunky cake. I have down here more chunky, so that's why it's there. And that is the remnants of Flynn's poncho, and that's Caron 1-pounder. It's just there because it's a giant cake, and that's where it fit. Okay, the next row down are chunky yarns. And next 2 rows, I believe. Yep. I don't even... These blues, and I think that pink right there, and those creams... Jumping over, I believe, to these pinks over here, came from Michelle Townsend. Oh, and those green ones. I'm making a sweater out of this. I've got the pattern printed. I just need to get started. Those blue chunkies I got from Ice. I was hoarding this because I made a cowl for my sister-in-law, and I loved it, so I went and bought the rest of it at Walmart, and I told you all in my videos I was hoarding it. And Tara Lynn sent me some more of them because I love it, and I need more of it. I don't know why. I just think it's so pretty. It's Carousel, and it's Lion Brand Woolies. These 2, the darker ones, and then these 2 down here, that is some Australian yarn from Gypsy Rose and the Chunkies. This appears some fun fur. My kids got me that for Easter or Christmas or something. Now, because these yarns aren't necessarily the same, but they're chunkies, these are like chunky babies and the kind of Bernat blanket type yarns. There's some pipsqueaks. This right here is that Bernat blanket yarn, but these 2 purplish and that right there, that I got also from Gypsy Rose from Australia. So that is the last of my chunky rows. Down here are baby, and I put them next to that because of the connection of baby yarn. I don't know why I did that, but to me it made sense. And like I've said before, this all came from my mom. She has the pattern and everything to make 2 jumpsuits for a little baby, for a pink baby or a blue baby. And I plan on knitting that. When I learn how to knit well enough, I'm not using that for anything other than making those things. Because that's what my mom bought it for. And if it has to be for her great-grandkids, that's what it will be. Here's some more pipsqueak baby stuff. Here is some yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby, but it's kind of in between that worsted chunky, so it's in that area. And then down here, what have I got? Here are some ice, 3 bags of ice. Over here is some cotton threads that I'm actually going to package up and send to my sister, because she started crocheting, but she makes rosaries with beads and whatnot, and she needs that, and I don't use it at all. And then over here, this, and this are actually 3 bags that... You remember just a minute ago when I said that was the last of the yarn that I got from my friend, from Lady Thin and her Hoard? These actually go with it, but the reason they're there is because they're little tiny skeins. You see that? Those Hirschners? And those are the DI yarns. They're like little tiny skeins, and for some reason I put them there. And that's it, friends. That is my stash, or my hoard. There's shelf number 1 right there. Yep, there's some hats up there. And then here is section number 2. And that's it. That's what I've got. That's everything. And then there's like my crafting work table and my sewing machine. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, sharing my videos, liking, all that jazz. All right. That's actually a song. I don't know if you're big musical buffs. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later in another video. And until then,
happy crafting.
Happy crafting. Bye.